Welcome to the Smart Restaurant POS application in Odoo. Imagine a busy restaurant where customers are arriving, tables are being reserved, orders are being prepared, takeaway requests are coming in, and payments are being completed throughout the day. Behind the scenes, different teams work together to keep everything running smoothly. The waiter takes care of the customers, the kitchen staff prepares the food, the cashier handles the billing, the inventory manager keeps track of product stocks, and the manager oversees the complete operation. The Smart Restaurant POS application connects all of these activities into one seamless workflow. Let's follow a typical restaurant journey and see how the process works from start to finish. A customer arrives at the restaurant and the waiter creates a reservation for them. If there is no reservation, the waiter can assign available table for the customer directly. The waiter then enter the customer details for reservation. And select the required question time, select the session and floor and the table before confirming the reservation. Once the reservation is confirmed and the customer is seated, the waiter takes the order. The waiter adds all the requested items to the order and sends the order to the kitchen for preparation. As soon as the order is created, the customer also receives a WhatsApp notification confirming that the order has been placed. This keeps the customer informed right from the beginning of the order journey. The kitchen staff receives the order and can see exactly what the customer has ordered. The order first enters the kitchen as received. Once the kitchen team starts working on the order, it moves into the preparing stage. The food items do not necessarily have to be completed at the same time. For example, if the customer has ordered 5 items and 1 or 2 items are ready first, those items can be marked as ready and served to the customer immediately. Those items can be marked as ready and served to the customer immediately. As each item is completed, it is moved to the ready and can be served. This allows the restaurant to serve food as soon as it is ready instead of waiting for the entire order to be completed. Once the prepared items are ready, the waiter serves them to the customer. Each item can be marked as served as it is delivered to the table. This means the waiter can keep track of exactly which items have already reached the customer and which items are still being prepared. Once the customer has finished the meal and is ready to pay, the waiter requests the bill. The bill request is then passed to the cashier for payment. The cashier receives the bill request and prepares the payment. If the customer wants to divide the bill, the cashier can use the split bill option and divide the total amount accordingly. The customer then selects the preferred payment method, the amount is confirmed, and the payment is completed. Once the payment is successfully processed, the receipt can be provided to the customer. The customer also receives a WhatsApp notification. Here it shows the receipt. Either we can download or print. The complete dine-in journey is now finished. Now let's look at a takeaway scenario. A customer wants to order food for pickup instead of dining at the restaurant. The waiter creates a takeaway order and adds the items requested by the customer. The customer can provide a preferred pickup time or pick up the food once it is ready and can add any special instructions to the kitchen. For example, the customer requests that the food can be extra spicy. The waiter adds this instruction to the order and sends the order to the kitchen. Once again, the customer receives a WhatsApp notification confirming that the takeaway order has been created. The kitchen staff receives the takeaway order. The team can see that the order is for takeaway along with the pickup time and the customer special preparation instruction. The kitchen team starts preparing the items. As each item is completed, it can be moved to the ready stage. Once the order is ready, the cashier will be notified. The cashier then verifies the details with the customer and handles the payment. If the customer pays more than the order total, the change amount will be displayed and the cashier will provide the change to the customer. If necessary, we can print the receipt. Here it shows the total amount and the change. The takeaway order is now ready to be handed over to the customer. Here in the billing history displays all the billing orders that have been paid. The restaurant also supports self-ordering, giving customers the option to place their own orders. A QR code is generated for each table and placed on the table. When a customer arrives, sits at a table, they can scan the QR code. The customer chooses Eat In and starts browsing the available menu. The required food items are selected and added to the order. The customer then provides their details. Before completing the order, the customer can review the selected items. The customer chooses the table. Once the order is confirmed, an order number is provided and the customer is informed that the payment will be completed at the cashier. A WhatsApp notification is also sent to the customer. The self-order automatically becomes part of the restaurant's regular workflow. The order is prepared by the kitchen staff, just like the regular dine-in. As the food becomes ready, the waiter will be assigned to serve the customer at the table. Once the customer is ready to pay, the bill request is then passed to the cashier for payment. The cashier processes the payment. If required, the bill can be split before the payment. So the bill is split. The remaining items are shown here. So the next remaining items shown here. The self-order dining journey is now complete. Self-ordering is also available for takeaway. This time, the customer chooses takeout instead of dine-in. The process is the same as the takeaway workflow we just covered, with the customer placing the order directly through the self-order screen. Once the order is placed, it follows the same kitchen preparation and payment process as a regular takeaway order. Next is the kiosk option. When the kiosk link is opened, it takes the customer to the same self-ordering screen used earlier. From there, the customer can browse the menu, select the required items, entering their details, and place the order directly through the self-ordering interface. So the same self-ordering flow can also be used as a kiosk experience. So those are the 4 ways an order can come in. Now let's step back and see how a manager can keep an eye on all of this. The manager can monitor the entire restaurant through a single dashboard. From here, the manager can get an overall view of orders, kitchen activity, billing, reservations, revenue, customers, inventory, and analytics. Along with the live dashboard, there is a separate view just for stock and inventory. Since every dish is linked to the ingredients it uses, the system can track ingredient stock automatically based on actual orders going out. For a product with low stock, the inventory user will give send request to the manager to create a purchase order for the product. The manager gets notified regarding the product which have low stock. Then the manager creates the purchase request for the product with a quantity of 15. The purchase order will be created. The purchase order will be created for the product with the quantity of 15. The manager will confirm the order and then receive the products. One last thing before we wrap up. This app also has a built-in AI assistant. If I just ask it a question in plain language, let's say hi, and then we can ask a few questions like what's running low. It reads through today's data and gives me the answer directly without me having to go dig through the reports. So that's the complete flow reservation to dine in, takeaway, self-order for both, the manager's live dashboard, inventory tracking, and even an AI assistant to answer quick questions. Regardless of how an order originates, it flows through the same underlying process in the background, giving the restaurant a single consistent view of operations. Thank you.